What is art? And who am I? I've already scripted out my thoughts on this, so I do have answers in mind for both of these questions, but since this is a YouTube video and I've got the B-roll, I'm going to waffle around my answers for like 10 minutes while you watch. So if that's something you're interested in, you should stick around. Otherwise, you can, skip to the end, see the final portrait, mute me and just watch me draw, or leave. I don't care. But I would argue that if you're considering skipping to the end, just remember, the value is often found not in the product, but instead the process. So here, while you watch me paint a picture of my most recent actor headshot, you should feel free to sit back, relax, and listen to me wax philosophical about art and life for a little bit. So, yes, first off, I am an actor. Last November, I was in a play called Master Harold and the Boys. It was written by Atolf Hugard. In it, I played Hallie, a South African schoolboy who would come home and engage in intellectual discussions with the servants who worked at his parents' tea shop. And at one point in the play, I was asked to give a definition for art, for which my character calls it the giving of meaning to matter. This isn't, I suppose, the worst definition someone could offer, but given the hateful things my character goes on to say in the play, it was set during apartheid, so I certainly wouldn't stand by anything that Ali says on the subject. Perhaps I would at least take it with a grain of salt. Okay, so then what is art? And why the hell do I think that as a fresh college grad, still struggling to find my voice in a world that primarily values money and clout, think that my first YouTube video is going to answer that question? I mean, who am I anyways? And I feel like maybe this used to be an easier question to answer. There was less riding on it before the internet came along, and suddenly your only prayer of being noticed or, God forbid, paid was having a super specific brand that centered around your personal identity. It's ironic. I remember being in middle school and seeing millennials hop on talk shows and go on and on about rejecting labels. And yeah, that was cringe. Millennials suck. But now Gen Z has taken every possible character trait or aesthetic a human could have and has slapped a new trendy term on it, because it turns out there's a metric ton of people in the world, and our monkey brains can only have real authentic relationships with maybe 150 of them. Even that seems to have a number. So for everyone else, we need to form abstracts and stereotypes so that our brains don't burst every time we log online. Okay, so we need labels after all. Okay, fine. But what about me? I can use labels and try to brand myself out to the world. Another skinny white guy who thinks he's deep or funny, but I've already labeled myself as an actor to you. By being on here, I've labeled myself as a YouTuber, an artist, a musician. Sure, any of these descriptors might seem accurate, but when it comes to truly identifying myself, I need labels to define all of you, because I don't know you. I should know me. And maybe I suppose I do. And the problem isn't that I lack awareness of my own identity, but just that I'm unable to put it into words that I feel accurately communicate that identity to all of you. And maybe that's why I'm an artist. If I can define art, and my art is communicating who I am, then by defining art, I can also vicariously define me, perhaps. Or words fail, I want my art to succeed in showing you my experience and perspective. And yeah, maybe that's why I care so much about who I am and what art is. But back to Master Harold. You see, after my show one night, me and my girlfriend went out to dinner. And at the restaurant, we were sitting at this table, and next to it on the wall, there's this large painting. It was right next to our table. We were right up against the wall. You gotta understand, the painting was big, really big. And we were sitting so close to it that I would look up at it, and I couldn't even tell what it was. I liked it. It looked good, but I couldn't tell you what it was. The perspective was warped. I was staring up at this large canvas with effectively nothing on it. But I still liked it. Well, in any case, it sparked up a conversation between me and my girlfriend, and we talked about life and art and all of those things. And she asked me about how Halley calls art the giving of meaning to matter. He also says it's the giving of form to the formless. And she just wanted to know what my personal definition of art would be. And I thought for a moment, and I said that to me, art is the expression of life. The more I think about this as a definition, the happier I am with it. Perhaps my favorite aspect of it is that you can take it as a definition, and if you do, you can then go on to define good art from bad art. Good art is the expression of life, and bad art is the expression of nothing. I mean, think about the art that has impacted you. The art that has left you feeling that feeling. That feeling of being totally immersed, for better or for worse, within your own present personal experience. I mean, art has always been our cry to the world, to the universe, creating something not for the practical improvement of the functions of day-to-day life, but for our own spiritual enrichment, claiming definitively our experience of a feeling that is undeniably alive. I think this is what makes AI art seem so hollow and uncanny to us. Artificial intelligence in its current form can it can take inputs and turn them into something that seems like art, but we interact with it like fast food, consuming the art like a Whopper, like Big Macs. Just downing it. Doesn't matter that we get no real sustenance from it. It's quick, it's cheap, it's convenient, it's great, right? And so what that leaves us with is nothing. You see, AI has the ability to create, but it does not the ability to experience and express. So what does that leave us with? It's rapid production that seeks to provide art, but all it gives you is what you ask for. Nothing more and nothing less. I mean, come on, is that art? When I go in to watch a movie, I have my expectation that I set forward about what I'm about to see. And then the artist who created the movie, the artists, they give me something and it meets my expectations, it exceeds my expectations, or it doesn't. Come on, that's where the art is. My experience leads me to expect something from art, and then when I experience the art, my expectations are challenged. Because it's not my perspective that created that art. That's the art. It's the interweaving of different perspectives, creating feeling, creating life. AI can't give you that. When you stare at an AI image, all it is giving you is a predictable, prompt-driven concept. You can have the idea of what you're going to put into it, but all the machine knows how to do is look at all of human history and then spit something else out that probably matches what you expect. It doesn't want to challenge your idea of what you would see when given that prompt. It takes the prompt and just does nothing with it. I'm going to shut up about AI now. Because, so if bad art can be viewed as that which takes the form of art yet expresses nothing, then sure, AI may fit that bill. But personally, I think it's even more heinous when it's done by humans. And it can be done by humans. In fact, one could say that the creation of AI is in itself a human act of bad art. Because look at what it seeks to do. It seeks to create art. This form of art. In pure exploitation of humanity's previous artistic achievements. And it packages it into this quantity over quality model. Potential profit is the only goal. And then here we find ourselves in the system that rewards the artist that can match that quantity over quality goal. It rewards the artist who can put out one piece of art constantly, day after day, just unstopping. And then the artist who takes his time, the artist who lets the idea simmer and build into something real and authentic, they're left behind, too slow, forgotten in the never-ending stream of content. And then the artist who changes themselves, who seeks growth, who seeks a new type of artistic expression. They are punished for their endeavors. They claim new territory, and that challenges you. They no longer fit into the original label you had for them. Now they're more real. And the more real something is, the less you know about it. And that makes it harder for you to fit them into whatever they were originally. And that's scary because there's a lot of us. All the cars driving past you are not filled with NPCs. They're filled with real, very, very human people with as rich of wealth of experience as your own. And we want content to be not that. We want content to be easy, and it's not that. It's indicative of how much life is in the world. I don't necessarily know what my art might look like in a year or so from now, and frankly, I like it that way. I don't want to make art that feels contrived for clicks, views, content engagement, and it sucks because that's tragically necessary for success in our current world, right? That's not what I want my art to be. I want my art to be indicative of me, of my experience. I want my art to be the expression of my life. So I might not be my art, but my art certainly is me. And who am I? Well, I'm Sam. Hey you! Thank you for watching. You didn't have to do that, but if you're here, it means you did, and I really appreciate that. I hope to have more videos on the way soon. I recently got the chance to see Tommy Wiseau live in person, and I saw his new film, Big Shark, and I won't spoil anything, but I will have a review very soon. We'll say in the next couple of weeks. Who knows? Time is relative. But in any case, if you liked what you saw today, you should do all of the things that the algorithm likes you doing, and then I know that you liked the video as well, and then I can keep them coming. So thank you for being here for number 1, and hopefully I'll see you next time for number 2.